You ever write something and it just feels, I don't know, flat? You know what you're trying to say, but the words on the page just don't have that spark, that impact you're feeling inside. Well, today we are going to fix that. We're going to dive into the one technique that can absolutely transform your writing from just telling a story to making your reader actually live it. Okay, let's take this sentence. The boy was scared. Super simple, straight to the point. And, well, let's be honest, it's kind of boring, isn't it? So what's the deal here? Why doesn't it really land? I mean, what's missing? It tells us a fact, sure, but it doesn't make us feel a single thing. We're just spectators, totally disconnected from what this boy is actually going through. And that, right there, brings us to the core problem we're going to solve. It is the classic showdown between telling your audience something and truly showing them. Think of it this way. Telling is basically a shortcut. It just slaps a label on an emotion, but in doing that, it completely robs the reader of the chance to figure it out and feel it for themselves. Showing, on the other hand, well, it invites the reader in. It lets them build that feeling right there alongside the character. So to help us get this right, we're going to use a really cool tool I call the writing thermometer. It's a way to actually measure the heat, the impact and the emotion in your writing, and more importantly, it shows us how to crank it way up. The whole principle behind this thermometer is that golden rule: show, don't tell. It's all about using those gritty sensory details, those specific actions, to get an emotion across instead of just naming it. This is our secret weapon against that cold, boring sentence. Okay, so let's get back to our friend, this scared boy. We're going to take that simple, cold little sentence and start cranking up the heat, moving step by step up our writing thermometer. All right, let's put it into practice. On the left, you've got our original cold sentence. The boy was scared. Now, look at the warm version on the right. The boy's legs shook and his face turned white. See that? Instantly, we've gone from just a word, an abstract idea, to something we can actually picture. We can see it happening. We're definitely warming up. Now, let's dial it up to hot. Instead of a general physical reaction, look at this. He clutched his bag, his knuckles turning white as he took a trembling breath. What's so great about this is that we're getting specific, character-driven actions. He's not just any boy, he's this boy, and he's clutching a bag. These little details make the whole scene way more personal and way more intense. And this brings us to the top, blazing hot. Here, we shift from what's happening on the outside to what's happening on the inside, using a metaphor. A cold finger of fear traced his spine, rendering his limbs heavy and leaden. Wow. This is so powerful because we're not just describing what fear looks like, we're describing what fear feels like. The reader gets it in their bones. They're not just watching anymore, they're feeling it too. So, that's amazing. But how do we get our own writing from cold to blazing? I mean, to make these kinds of incredible leaps, you need the right tools. You've got to have the right fuel to get that fire going. And here's the secret. The fuel for powerful writing is a powerful vocabulary. Simple as that. Having those precise, evocative words right at your fingertips, that's what lets you climb the thermometer and create these unforgettable experiences for your reader. Just check out this table. You can see the progression so clearly. A glimmer of light is okay, but calling it luminous is better, more specific. And effulgent? I mean, that's a whole other level. Going from a simple shiver to a quiver to the deep feeling of trepidation, that adds so much nuance. This right here is the high-octane fuel we're talking about. All right, enough theory. Now it's your turn to practice. We're going to put everything we've just learned into action with a little challenge I like to call the mystery package test. Okay, so here's the scene. I want you to picture this clearly. You're on a dark porch. It's raining. A single, lonely street lamp is flickering on and off. And right there, you find a mysterious package. Your mission? Describe this exact moment. And we're going to tackle this by climbing our thermometer. First, at the P6 level, just use 3 senses. What does it feel, sound, and smell like? Then, for the second level, give me 3 strong action verbs for opening it. And finally, to get to that blazing level, create a metaphor. What is the feeling of holding this box like? Is it like holding a time bomb or a forgotten memory? You see, by practicing with tools like our writing thermometer and the mystery package test, you're doing so much more than just writing. You're learning how to set your stories on fire. So, if you're going to remember anything, remember this. To make your writing powerful, you have to swap out those boring facts for real feelings. Use all those sensory details, pick specific active verbs, describe physical reactions. And when you're ready, light the whole thing up with a killer metaphor. That, right there, is the difference between writing a sentence and creating an entire world. So there you have it. You've got the tools, you've got the fuel. The only question left is, what story are you going to go out and set on fire?